Welcome back to my channel. I'm Hannah Blackwell and today I'm bringing you my July TBR. I am really excited about this because I have decided to do something a little bit different, and that is to bring back my TBR jar. But I've completely changed up the prompts, and instead of reading prompts, I actually have a number on every single one of the pieces of paper in here. They're kind of hard to see, but those are each a number, and they have a number for every single one of my bookshelves. And this was actually inspired by Emily Fox. She did like a read it or unhaul it kind of segment on her channel. She's still doing it. For a while it was where she kind of like finished out reading all of her, sorry, my dog is making the weirdest sounds. But she did where she kind of like finished out reading all the books that were left on each bookshelf that were unread, or she unhauled them. Now she does where she actually picks she has a jar where she has, now she has a jar where she has like all of her unread books in there, and so she does a little bit different. But anyway, this is inspired by that. And I thought that I would do a few polls. This won't be every book on my TBR, but I wanted to try to do a few polls a month. I talked to you guys about the fact that I have not been buying books, so I really want to be concentrating during this time on reading books that are on my bookshelves. So I thought this would be a really easy way to do that. If y'all haven't already subscribed to my channel, I'd love to have you do so. Don't forget to click the like button. Comment down below and let me know what you are planning to read in July. Let me know if you are participating in the Readathon coming up, the Swashbuckling Readathon. My co-host and I are going to be having so much fun. All the information is down below in the description. And make sure to check out all the co-hosts. They're going to be down below too, so that you can subscribe to their channels and just keep up with all of the fun times. We're going to do reading sprints. Obviously, I'm going to be picking some pirate-themed books for that week of the 5th through the 12th. So I am just really excited. I am in the fantasy mood right now. I've been reading a lot of fantasy and sci-fi, and I'm just in the mood for that kind of thing. So I'm going to be picking some fantasy piratey books for sure. I also have a feeling there's going to be too many books on this TBR. I am in a reading mood. I want to read everything. And so I have a feeling that I'm kind of going to like overbook myself. I think I'm going to overbook myself just a little bit here. We'll see. In June, I have read half of the books that were on my TBR, so I'm happy with that. One of them was kind of like a soft DNF, but I'm pretty happy with what I did. I didn't read the books that I wasn't in the mood for. I read the books that I was, but I picked from my TBR as much as I could, and so I'm really happy about that. So generally my goal is 50%. If you guys didn't already know, I've talked about that before. I'm happy to read 50% of the books on my TBR. I'm a mood reader, so if I can do that, it makes me feel good because I've given you guys a good idea of what I'm in the mood for, what I want to read, but I'm also being true to myself and allowing myself to mood read so I don't go into slumps. So I think we're going to go ahead and go into some polls here, and then I'll go ahead and talk about like what's left that I want to read for the Readathon, for the Swashbuckling Readathon, and then everything else I want to read for the month of July. Oh my gosh, July. July is my birthday month, guys. I'm not going to talk about how old I'm turning, but it is my birthday month, so it's going to be an extra fun month for that reason, maybe. I don't know. So the numbers are going to go from like this corner shelf. The top shelf is 1, and then it goes down, and then it goes top, down, and then the last one is my historical romance shelf. So I'll just stay this angle, that's fine. So let's go ahead and pick my first shelf number, and I'm just gonna pick like 1 or 2 books from each shelf, just depending on like if it's something that I think I have a lot of options on or not, you know. So let's just see what I get. I'm kind of nervous. I've never done this before, obviously. It's been a while since I did like a TBR game, so this one feels good. Oh shoot, I know what this is. Can you guys see that? That's a 7. That is a 7. This is my middle grade shelf, and it is a mess because my kids play with the books down here. Okay guys, so this is the shelf we're talking about. It's an absolute mess. This is where all of my middle grade books are, and some of the books for the boys that are like in box sets. I'm actually excited because I haven't read a middle grade in a really long time. And so I decided to go ahead and pick up Keeper of the Lost Cities. I have heard mixed things about this. Some people are obsessed with the series and some people really don't like it. So I'm excited to see where I fall in that. And I think this is kind of like a chosen one, but it's about elves. And I'm always talking about how I want to see more elves in fantasy. So that kind of really excites me to have a fantasy series about elves. I don't know much else about that. It's just chosen one, middle grade fantasy about elves. And I think there might be a magic school, but I could be wrong. I really want another like super epic middle grade series to get into. This might be a good one for me. I hope. Okay, that is the first pick. And I think that's the only one I'm gonna do because I haven't been reading a lot of middle grade, so I don't wanna put like a whole bunch of middle grade on my TBR. Okay, let's go ahead and do the next pick. Just one, okay. Nine. Okay, 9, so 7, 8. Oh, this is 9 right here. Okay. So this is my 9th shelf here. I have a few options up here. Okay. So Serpent and the Wings of Night was actually on my 5-star predictions video. I really do want to concentrate on finishing out series, and I could read Iron Flame. It's like right there. I don't know. And then I really would like to read Hole in the Soulless. This has been on my TBR for a while because I really loved the first book in that series. I know I should like continue on series, but I also should be working on my 5-star predictions, right? Radiance would be really good to read too. Or I could finish Dawn of Onyx. I started this one and then I just wasn't in the mood for fantasy romance. This one. Okay, so I went ahead and decided on Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros, and that is certain books just like my lighting gets so weird. But yeah, I'm going with Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros, and that is because this is going to be a series continuation, and I really liked the first book. It wasn't perfect. Like I could see some of the issues, but I still had a really good time with it. I also have the audiobook for this one. So I'm trying to pick books that I also have the audiobooks for. So I definitely have the audiobook for this one. And so I think this is going to be a good pick. I'm hoping it's just as fast paced as the first one, but I've heard there are some pacing issues. So I guess we'll find out about this one. So the first book in this is about our heroine. She has a chronic illness or a disability, and she has to go to this dragon rider school and learn how to ride dragons. And it's like super dangerous. This academy is really dangerous. And people are like out to get her, and this is a enemies to lovers romance as well. And the dragons in here are really cool. I'm sure you guys have heard about this book. The first book being Fourth Wing, like it's been everywhere. So I'm sure you guys have heard about this, but I'm excited to continue on with this so I can stay up to date. And yeah, I'm trying not to let all of the bad reviews turn me off. Okay, so this is going well. I'm going to do one more because I still have a lot of other books I actually have to get on my TBR. So let's just do one more. Okay, you can't see that, but that is 18. This one is my 18th shelf right here. So I basically got all of the Shauna McGuire, well, the ones I have so far, the Shauna McGuire books from the Wayward Children series. I have not read In an Absent Dream yet, so that's a possibility. The Hazelwood is a possibility. The Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking. Thornhedge, Paladin's Grace, The Raven and the Reindeer, and The Witch of Wild Things. These are all possibilities. I think I'm going to go with Thornhedge for this one. Yeah. Do y'all see how whenever I'm given these 5-star prediction possibilities, I choose not to read them because I'm terrified? Like I avoid my 5-star predictions at all costs, I feel like, which is... it's an issue. Okay, so T. Kingfisher, Thornhedge. The reason I picked this is the first 2 books that I picked already were really, really, really long. I mean, not super crazy long. I mean, Keeper of the Lost Cities is going to be short because it's a middle grade, but it's still pretty long middle grade. And Iron Flame, I think it's got to be around 500 pages. So I wanted to pick Thornhedge because I also know you guys will see some of the other books on my TBR. I have a lot of very chunky books on my TBR because I'm in a fantasy mood, and I've also realized I've made no progress this year on some of the series that I'm trying to read. So, and I know I didn't do like series update at the end of the year / beginning of this year like I did the previous year. I wasn't doing a lot of content around that time because I think we were redoing the library. So I believe this is a Sleeping Beauty retelling. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a Sleeping Beauty retelling. Look at these end papers. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Look at the front. Pretty. Okay, it says it's about a toadling, so that's kind of confusing to me. But I love T. Kingfisher's dark fairy tale retellings or fairy tale-esque books, so I'm excited for this one. I actually don't know if I've read any of her actual... No, I read one of her retellings, but it was a horror retelling. Yeah, because I've read Sword Heart and Nettle and Bone, and technically I don't know that either of those were retellings. Nettle and Bone, I think, was like a mashup retelling of a few different stories, but anyway, I'm excited for this one. It's really short, and I like T. Kingfisher a lot. This is like 100 pages, so. Okay, and because none of those books work for Swashbuckling Readathon, I have a lot to talk to you guys about. So some of the books I'm going to read for the Readathon are actually going to be surprises. I know me and B were talking about doing something where we do like a live show spin a wheel with a bunch of like fun, short KU romance novellas, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So maybe some alien pirates, maybe some just fun swashbuckling at times of like some short novellas on KU are definitely in my future for the Swashbuckling Readathon. But I think throughout the whole week I am also going to be reading The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi by Shannon Chakraborty. I really liked her series, the Daevabad trilogy, so I'm excited for this. I think it's supposed to be like a very fun swashbuckling adventure, and I think it's set in the same world as Daevabad. Yeah, it's supposed to be like a pirate, the band gets back together for like one last ride, one last mission kind of seafaring adventure, and I think it's told kind of like as a story as well, so I'm excited for this one. It's a standalone, and it's just under 500 pages. Okay, so the next book I want to talk about is this chunker, Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson. So I am doing a read along on the Hideaway with some friends, and we are reading the Stormlight Archive. I just finished the first book in the series yesterday. It was a reread, so I've read the first 4 books in the Stormlight Archive already, and the 5th book is coming out in December, so hence the reread, so I can be ready for the 5th book. And so I am excited for this one. When I first read the series, this was my favorite. So I'm curious if it's still going to be my favorite in the series. Like, I'm hoping I'm going to love it, but also at the same time, I'm hoping it's not my favorite in the series the second time around, because that means it kind of goes downhill a little bit from here, even though the lowest I've ever given a book in the series is 4 stars, and that was the 4th book. The first 3 books, the first time I read them, I gave 5 stars, so I'm excited. This book is awesome. Like, I loved it so flipping much, and I cannot wait to read this. I don't think I'm going to read this whole book in July. I think I'm going to start it in July. That's my goal, is to start this book in July. If I finish it in August, that's fine. I'm definitely behind for the reread. Like, I think I'm supposed to be on Oathbringer by now, but it's okay. So I think that I will definitely be starting this in July and finish it in August, so that hopefully I can start Oathbringer in October and read the 4th book, Rhythm of War, in November. So we'll see if I can follow that schedule. Do I need to do a synopsis of the series, The Stormlight Archives by Brandon Sanderson? No, I'm not going to do it. It's an epic fantasy, political epic fantasy series that I cannot explain. I will forever be a failure at trying to explain the Stormlight Archives. Okay, what else do I need to read? And this is where Delulu Hannah comes in. I'm fully delusional. I'm fully aware of that. This isn't going to happen. This is way too many books to try to read in 1 month. I'm well aware of that. I know. But am I going to do it? I'm going to try to do it. Yes, I am. So the first next book I want to read is I want to continue on with The Realm of the Elderlings. I have started this book though, so I feel like this isn't super delusional. I'm actually about 2/3 of the way through this book, so I just have to read this part right here. That's all. That's not that bad. So I've got like 200, 250 pages left of this book. Okay? This is Fool's Errand. This is the first book in the Tawny Man trilogy. So I've read the first two trilogies in the Realm of the Elderlings. This is the third trilogy. We're back following Fitz again and the Fool, and it is wonderful. And I put this down because I stopped feeling like reading epic fantasy at the time. So I decided to put it down. I was enjoying it. It's definitely slow moving, very, very slow moving. I feel like that's how she starts things out quite slow in her series when she starts a new trilogy. So my kids are getting restless. Oh my goodness. Okay, anyway, so this is the Realm of the Elderlings. It's a very slow-paced, character-driven epic fantasy world written by Robin Hobb, who honestly is one of the best epic fantasy writers of our generation. Not our generation, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, anyway, the point is, this is following Fitz and the Fool, and so at this point, Fitz is middle-aged and getting pulled back into some court intrigue. There's not much else I can talk about with that series. Like, the first book follows him when he's a child, that's where it starts, and he is the bastard son of the heir to the kingdom. And he ends up being trained to be an assassin. So, and this is where, like, delusional gets real. Cause yeah, I'll be able to read this too, right? 1,000 pages. It's just under 1,000 pages, guys. Yeah, sure. Okay. This is the third book in the Dandelion Dynasty series. I haven't read this series in a minute, and I need to continue on before I forget everything. So yeah, this whole series is written very much like a history, and it's inspired by like the Revolutionary War in America and also by like Chinese culture, I believe, or East Asian culture. And this is very political. It's very historical feeling, and it is really well written. I really enjoy the first two books in the series. I really want to continue on and finish the series out. If I could finish the series by the end of the year, that would be amazing. That would be so amazing. But we'll have to find out. And finally, I really would like to continue on with the Expanse series. Once again, like, I know, delusional. This book is about, what, 500 pages? Over 550. Okay. 550 pages. Like, how many? I might have to do a word count. Let's put a word count right here. How many pages does Hannah think she's going to read in July? That's ridiculous. I don't even know. Okay, this is the Expanse series. This is a really cool series that is a space opera, and it starts out kind of like as a mystery, like detective in space, but also with lots of action. And I'm in the fourth book, so I can't really talk about what's happened so far, but everything is opened up and gone crazy. This is a really cool series that I'm really enjoying. I fly through these books too. I read them fairly quickly. We've even watched the show some too, which my husband is enjoying the show. So yeah, I'd like to continue on with my world. I own this book. I don't own any of the rest of the books of the series, but I do own this one, and I'm excited to read it and kind of just continue on in the world. I'm trying not to like lose my place in a lot of these series that I am in the middle of. So this is every book that I am wanting to read in July, because that makes sense. I'll probably have to put in, like I said, I'm going to have some romances that I don't know what they're going to be for the Swashbuckling Readathon, and I also might throw in like a thriller or something here and there to kind of mix things up. I don't know. I'm in an epic fantasy mood, and I've realized I'm so behind in so many of my series, so apparently this is gonna happen. I hope you guys like this delusional video. I had fun making it, but I'm a little bit nervous for sure. Let me know if you guys like this whole pulling my different TBR shelves thing from my TBR jar. I had fun doing that. I think it's a really good way to make sure I'm reading books that are on my shelves. Just a fun little thing, you know? If you like this video, click the like button. Comment down below, let me know if you've read any of the books on my list, or if you want to read any of them. Until next time, fellow readers, keep reading and living your best life. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away.